Hey, what's up guys? This is Mr. Davidian, and today this is one of the last videos that you'll see before the AP Lang test. So I'm going to give you guys some tips, but also an AP Lang exam checklist. So let's get to it. So obviously the first thing is you're going to get your e-ticket 2 days before the exam. So make sure you have that available, you know where it is, and you can access it. Once you click on the e-ticket, you should be able to access the actual exam. You will be clicking that on May 20th at 10:30 a.m. Do not wait till 11 because you're actually going to start testing at 11. So you have to log in first at 10:30. What time? 10:30. Obviously, you want to be prepared beforehand as well. And we'll talk about some other things. But before we get into the test, let's just talk about what you can use on the test. You are allowed to use your workbook, your book, and any other notes that you have, sample essays that you have. So if I were you, I would have all that stuff planned out. Obviously, you should be studying a lot of those things beforehand. Now, if you guys look at this little study guide here, you obviously have some key page numbers that I listed for you. You got effects verbs on page 11. Page 6, you got all your devices. Page 10, those are all transition words and phrases. Tone on 14. Fallacies on 58. Satire on 87. Sample essays are in the back. You can take a look at page 243, 246. And also page 9 has a lot of those perspectives, categories, fields of study, legally speaking, historically speaking, politically speaking, all that. That's on page 9. Now, obviously, let's get into some synonyms. You guys have a lot of synonyms in your workbook, but if you can't find them, I kind of threw some right here. So you can use this. You can actually take this PDF, you can print it out, and just have it there right in front of you. So you have all your cool synonyms right here. Important, unique, positive. Obviously, I wanted to spend a little more time on this topic right here. Just being specific when you're talking about the author's purpose. Maybe he was trying to challenge or rebuke or ridicule or provoke us to think about. Obviously, you can talk about the purpose was to educate, inspire, encourage, motivate, things like that, persuade. And then obviously you have a bunch of synonyms over here, like problems and solutions. I like all those different synonyms. Obviously, you can add your own. And then obviously to get sophisticated, we added some metaphors right here. So let's continue. Obviously, besides that, I try to throw in a bunch of different facts. Right here with literature, you can see there's a bunch of different dates, a bunch of different historical dates over here, and also different literature, I think. Literature and dates. Then you have a few more history quotes over here. Then obviously you have science facts right here. You can add your own. I didn't fill that in, but you can, if you print this, you can go find these facts on your own. And obviously some more quotes. Pretty much I just wanted you guys to have a lot of information, especially dates, obviously to know like when you could talk about certain topics and events. So let's talk about some other things you can work on. In order to get the higher level scores, especially for sophistication, you can obviously see right here where it says sophistication. Those are just some tips you can look at. And then obviously to get credit for the rhetorical situation, you want to talk about all of these things. You want to talk about the author, the audience, the exigence or importance, a problem or situation at hand, the context, whether it's political context, historical context, all that time period of whenever this was written or whatever you're reading, and obviously the author's purpose, and then the message. So there's 6 things. So make sure you kind of keep those in mind. That's just another way to remind you. Then obviously we'll keep going. We have quote quickly. Obviously I threw in, just some different ways you can quote quickly. That one page where it talks about conceding and contrasting, I kind of like that, but because you're not analyzing or debating yourself, you're analyzing, you're not debating, so you won't need to agree with anybody because it's not a synthesis essay and all that. So anyway, I threw in these different transition words here, so you can take a look at those. It implies, suggests, indicates, simply put, specifically, namely. You have all these over here, juxtaposition, even though, besides, not only, just some ways to just add more sophistication and commentary to your writing. And then last but not least, I just kept it simple. Just write your name right here, Mr. D. Make sure you put your name. You are confident and ready and unique. You're going to be confident on this AP test. You guys have more than what you need for this test. I feel right around May is when you guys start to develop and hone in your skills, your cognitive skills, and I think you guys are all going to do great. Just stay confident, put in the work, obviously. For those top students in my class, you know who you are. I can guarantee that you're probably already smarter than me and more ready than I am to take this test. And you know who you are. So you're more than ready. I know you would do better than what I could do, is what I'm saying. But obviously, study a little bit. Don't stress. Make sure you get a good night's sleep. Make sure you eat well. And that's it. So let's talk about what to do before the test. Obviously, I give you guys some Google Classroom assignments asking you to look at the checklist that College Board gave you. Checklist. And then obviously there's a demo exam. Please click that and go through it. You want to be familiar. You don't want to fail this test because you weren't familiar with the technology. That's just unfortunate. We have to use this technology, so be familiar, please. So obviously, you got your ticket emailed to you. You're ready with that. Yes, complete the checklist. And I'm going to give you a sample checklist below. It's very similar. If you want the one that's in this PDF, it'll work just fine. Make sure you have, obviously, your device, what device you're going to use, have that planned out. Make sure you know your browser works. And again, if you do the demo, you'll be able to figure all that stuff out. Obviously, you need a good internet connection. Make sure you find a quiet place. And then obviously all that. And we'll talk about what else. It is open notes. Again, you're allowed to use your notes. So don't stress. You have a lot of information you can use. So really it's just a matter of actually reading and understanding the prompt. You have to understand the prompt. Let's all be clear. Then after you understand the prompt, you got to understand the passage. And so make sure you understand that prompt and answer whatever that prompt is asking you. If it gives you a synonym like, how does this reveal the conflict of the nation or whatever, then you're going to take the word conflict, you're going to write a bunch of synonyms down, predicament, conflict, problem, war, whatever it is. Like, whatever that prompt is, you're going to write a bunch of synonyms down. I should write that somewhere on here. That should be automatic. Whatever the prompt is, write synonyms. So please, there's no ifs, ands, or buts. They know you're answering the prompt if you're constantly using synonyms. 2009, we had that satire talking about how does this show how conversations can be unproductive. So you write down the word unproductive and you write a bunch of synonyms down. So anyway, that's just a little review. So number one, you need your ID number. It's 8 characters. Make sure you have that written down. If you look at the very top of this document, you'll see that I have it right here. You're going to write it down. So you have it because that's the first. I think you have to write your ID down at the top of your essay and your initials, if I'm not mistaken, but it's somewhere around here. ID number and initials, so you're going to have that all ready to go. And we'll talk about all this. We already know the exam date is May 20th, and it is 10:30 to check in. And then my local exam starts at 11 a.m. It will go for 45 minutes. And then they're going to give you 5 minutes to submit. So really, don't even expect them to give you 45. They're going to give you 50 minutes because the last 5 minutes are going to be to submit your essay. So still plan it out. You're going to write for 45 minutes, read and write 45 minutes. And the last 5 minutes, you need to make sure you stop and submit. We don't want to have any issues. I don't want any students telling me, I ran out of time, Mr. Davidian. I was trying to submit and I just didn't know what to do. And yeah, you need to make sure, do the demo. You need to know that you know how to upload documents. I don't care what it is. If you're taking pictures, that's going to be the hardest part. If you're going to handwrite your essay, that means you got to take a picture and then somehow get the picture onto your laptop, up to the internet, and then obviously to the website. That's a lot of steps, and you probably don't have time for all that. So it's easiest to probably have a Google Doc, which is on your laptop, right next to you on the right. And so you can have it on the right side of your screen, and then on the left side of your screen, you can have the exam itself with the timer and the prompt and everything. Unfortunately, we won't be able to circle and annotate our prompt, which is unfortunate. So you will still need to have that prompt right next to you and the passage right next to you, and just keep constantly going back and forth. Anyway, so yeah, keep those side by side. Now, the problem is what happens if you accidentally click off something, you exit out of your exam? You know what I mean? Because if you're going back and forth between these two browsers, there could be an issue where you accidentally click the back button or log off or whatever. And so it says this, it says, if I accidentally close my browser or hit the back button, you can still use your e-ticket to access the exam and it'll still be running. And so that is sort of like the remedy. It should still be running. You shouldn't have a problem if you accidentally make a mistake and you exit out of it. However, it says here, if you can't rejoin the exam, then you'll have to take the makeup exam, which is I think in 2 weeks, a week or 2 weeks, but you can double check that. All right, so we're taking the test. Obviously, 5 minutes before your 45 minutes is up. Your 45 minutes is up. You'll have 5 minutes left. On your timer, it'll start blinking red. You'll notice it right here, and it'll just tell you, hey, time to submit your work. So hopefully this button right here will say 45 minutes, and then it'll change to 5 minutes. So I'm pretty sure you'll be able to figure that out. Anyway, let's talk about planning for a moment. This is just one way to break down how you're going to approach this passage and prompt. Obviously, you can give yourself 10 minutes to read, and then obviously you can give yourself 5 minutes plus 25 minutes plus 5 minutes for the conclusion. That's a total of 35 minutes. So it's going to go fairly quickly. Now, if you think about it, 35 minutes to write, 10 minutes to read, that's exactly 45 minutes. That doesn't give you any time to go back and review, to go back, revise, to double check spelling, to double check punctuation, things like that. So you're going to have to, if you need extra time, maybe take out 5 minutes from the body paragraphs, and then obviously you can save time for all that. Now you have 5 minutes extra to revise, double check things and all that. And then when you can always, if you think everything is good, then you can add this time to your body. So anyway, I would give yourself, sorry, I messed up right here. I would give yourself 5 minutes, all right? One of the things that I try to get you guys to realize in class is that it's all about endurance. It's all about speed. And by this time in April and May, you guys have been doing this so much, it should be faster automatically. Inadvertently, you should already be faster at a lot of these things. So don't stress. I think you guys are going to be fine. But at the same time, it's all about speed. And so what I want to recommend is go take some of the ed puzzles that I've done and work on your speed. I think there's a speed practice I assigned you guys. Don't be afraid. Just kick butt. Try to do it. And you'll realize, oh, wow, I only wrote half an essay in 45 minutes. I need to speed up. And so you're going to realize where you stand. I think the ed puzzle speed practice will help you figure that out. And if you realize you wrote 2 pages in 45 minutes and you were doing great, metaphor, simile, sophistication, then you feel confident. So go test yourself, hit those weights to see how buff you really are. All right? There are a few other speed essays. If you guys look at the College Board, they give you the 2015 prompt, I believe from Margaret Thatcher, if I'm not mistaken. However, if you look on page 210 or 211 in your workbook, I think I have the Florence Kelly on page 210, if I'm not mistaken. If you guys want to use that as a speed essay, you can. You can always send it to me. But really, you're on your own. I gave you guys this one right here on page 209. It's from Benjamin Banneker, 54 lines, real short, speed essay, 45 minutes. Write it and see if you can do it. If you guys are doing well on that, here's one that's around 100 lines or 95 lines. Florence Kelly, 2011. Can you do it? Right here. This is good. Florence Kelly. You'll like her. She writes very powerfully. Anyway, those are 2 you can use in your workbook. Those are the 2 I would normally give you if you were in my class and we had classroom time. So if you have any questions, make sure you remind, text me, email me. But for the most part, you guys have everything you need in your workbook. You guys have all the ed puzzles in practice. If you took advantage of those, congratulations. I know you're going to do well. The quizzes and the Kahoots, congratulations. Those will help you as well. So it's all into your hands. These last few days, what do you want to do? If you've already been putting in the work, like I think I've seen Dima and Connor and Gabby and a bunch of others, just putting in the work, just putting in the time to do those ed puzzles, even though, they could be 30 minutes long, putting in the effort to kick butt and do it, to get yourself familiar, especially vocabulary. I mean, I don't know. Anyway, have a great day. If you have any questions, let me know. If not, if you're just going to reject every practice and everything and you're going to coast all the way to the exam, you need your e-ticket. You're going to click the e-ticket. You're going to put in your 8-digit number and you're going to type away, read and type. If that's what you need, then make sure you have a Google Doc. You're going to type it all out, copy, paste. So Control C, Control V, paste, submit. AP Lang is done. So I guess I could have told you that at the beginning of this video, but hopefully everything else is helpful to you as well. So yeah, I try to give you guys this first page of this document as just tips, but you obviously have all these other pages in your workbook that you can use during the test. Anyway, take care. Good luck. God bless. I'll be praying for you. I literally will. And obviously, you cannot tell me what was on the test. I'll find out within like a day or maybe in a few hours. It'll get online. But if you want to meet after the AP Lang test at, let's say, I think I said let's meet at 1 o'clock on Zoom. That's 2 hours. You start your test at 11. You'll be done by probably 12. And then obviously you're going to need a snack and you'll need to text some friends or whatever. But if you guys want to meet up at 1 o'clock, we can just celebrate. You guys can tell me how you feel. I know you can't tell me what was on the test, but you can at least tell me how you feel. You can tell me, what strategies you used or found helpful, what strategies that you wish you would have remembered that you kind of forgot, or vocabulary. And then for me as a teacher, I like to see how you guys felt. That way I can adjust my teaching. That way I can get better. That way I can figure out, I wish I would have taught something a little bit more. And yeah, that's it. So 1 o'clock after the AP Lang test, we'll meet on Zoom. If that's it, that's it. All right. See you guys soon. Take care.